like this, like today I have no food. Like, do you know where I could get meds to kill myself? Like, because I want to die today.
And so the church offers that place, and it is safe. There is no judgment.
There's no judgment, but also, it's safe that it, we're not going to listen, because you see, there is a medical explanation to this.
Yes.
And which is very, very important. And so we get to work with people that are in that space. However, one of the things we believe is that everything is spiritual. There's a background to this.
That's what I wanted to talk about, and I think we took a very big tangent out of it, which is okay, which is very fine. I've learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
The idea that the man is a spirit.
Yeah.
If you were to address a man, a solid Jama, so to speak, it doesn't matter whether they're in church or they are not in church. Would you tell them about their spirit as one of the pillars of their complete wholeness as a man?
Yeah. So, this all goes to, like if I came here and showed you a bandage on my arm and said, I had a knock. I was playing basketball and I had a knock. I fell down onto the court. I bled, and now see, this is the wound. But I went out to the clinic, got a dressing for it, and now this is why there's a bandage and all of this that you're saying. Just like it is for the body, it is for the spirit.
Right.
There are wounds we carry. And these wounds, the unfortunate bit, Lawrence, is that they are not exposed for us to
You don't see them.
And so, you are dealing with wounds and things are running through your mind and you don't even know the source of these wounds. And these are wounds that could date to decades.
Yeah.
Like 30 years
back
of wounds.
Yeah. Unresolved
wounds, undealt with wounds. And we are only seeing you do things today, and we then judge you and say, look, he's crazy. But man, when you get to the crux of it, it's wounds upon wounds. And so I was that guy that had wounds upon wounds that drove me to the place of dealing with situations that I couldn't identify the source. So how do I come out of all of this? There is always that little faith that stays.
Yeah.
That regardless of how low you fall, you still think, maybe God still loves me. Yeah. So maybe today, before I do this bad mistake, let me pray.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that in those moments is when, I remember going to a bar.
Right.
And sitting.
Right.
And having no money.
Right.
And wondering, how do I kill myself? So I wandered into a bar, and guess what? There was a guy who was willing to buy for me drinks. Unfortunately, I don't drink. But he was willing to. He's like, it's all right. It's on me. What do you want? But I was so excited. I was like, why is this guy so excited for me? Like, he looked so excited.
Caring. And
he's like, no. What do you want? And I wanted a Pepsi. He's like, really? Do you want a tequila? And I'm like, no, because, at the time, fortunately, I had no prior exposure to all of these, and so it was easy for me to make quick decision. Right. But what I really wanted from him was some money, not the drinks. At that point, it was a low season for my life. But you can be so low. But even when you are at your lowest, that's why it's important. So I grew up in the house of grannies that were Christian. The guy was reverend, and he had deposited things on the inside of me.
Yeah.
That even at my lowest, I remembered
Right.
That maybe I can cry out to God.
Right.
That maybe He can rescue me.
Yeah.
Maybe there can be a day when this is no more. And I did. And it's not like there was like a massive voice of visitation or all of that. But the next day was better than the yesterday. And the next day, I saw a better day. And the next day was better. And, weeks in, months in, I got some, I remember there's a guy told me, look, I'm going to buy you a laptop. I said, what?
Hold on.
Yeah. I said, he's like, yeah, I'm going to buy you a laptop. And so he walked with me to buy a laptop. And he gave me a laptop. And that was my comeback story.
A laptop.
That's all.
So the pivotal point is a guy. Stranger or friend?
He's a friend.
Friend.
Yeah. He's a friend.
He knew your story.
He knew my story, but also he knew my potential.
Right.
He looked at it and said, okay, so we can't fix everything.
Yeah, but you can start something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I sat on that laptop, Lawrence.
Yeah.
There is a hotel in the city.
Yeah.
I'll not mention which one.
Yeah.
But at the time, they had free internet. I'd go there, befriend everybody, security guard everyone, and I would sit through the night on YouTube, learning a new skill, teaching myself a new skill.
Whoa.
And bro, today I can count on my fingers 10. I have 10.
Yeah.
But I can count less than 10 people that are better than me
in that skill.
Yeah. There are few that I respect.
Yeah.
In that industry.
Yeah.
So God has been like, that was my comeback story.
Yeah.
And that skill has paid my academics into CIM, Chartered Institute of Marketing. That skill has gotten me trips to the world.
Yeah.
That skill
got,
like, I came back.
Yeah.
And as I came back, as my story unfolded, I found a girl who did not
judge you.
Not judge me, but also who knew my story.
You told me something earlier on that you had to tell your girl about your sexual messes. Is that what you said?
Sexual history.
Yeah. How important was that? Because basically that's a man unmasking, right?
Yeah.
That's a man being vulnerable. It's like, so be it. If she doesn't want me after I've given her this information, so be it.
Yeah.
How is that experience?
So, my girl knew a bit of what was going on, but what she didn't know, at least she thought, the guy had fallen. It was like at his lowest, feeling so low and everything. And so, what she didn't know is that in that season of being low, I also got sexually exposed. And I needed to come clean before we start our marriage.
Because you looked at her as a potential life partner, right?
And I didn't want these stories to come to her much later because they would devastate her. So I needed her to know whether she wanted to make it,
or not
at that point,
to quit. That's a very important point. And it's scary. It's not easy for a man to do that, is it?
It's not, because she could have quit.
Yeah,
and she had all rights.
Yeah, so it's basically like you're giving your heart, as it were, to her to do whatever she wants with it. She can actually embrace it or squash it.
And I remember,
I
remember it like yesterday, that after I did that,
I
felt so naked,
right,
and so vulnerable. So much so that no one touched me, no one did nothing. But when she said, "It's all okay," I broke down into tears and wept.
Wow. Because you felt accepted?
I felt accepted, but I also felt like, my goodness, as I've been carrying all this
load, this baggage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet,
but when this sexual exposure happened, you were in church, right, so to speak?
Yeah. So, but in church, out of church. I mean, as a not staff, but like a guy who goes to church.
Who is born again and goes to church.
Correct.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So she accepts you into your life, and that adds another dimension to your recovery, so to speak.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a shot in the arm and wings to fly, and now you're able to have some kind of direction and forward thinking.
Yeah. Because that was like, I mean, a lot of things were going well for me already, but that day was like a punch, like a leap, like this is it. You're gonna be a husband and a father. Like, Lawrence, I don't know how to explain to you how that changed my story and outlook to life, because then I began to see responsibility, So Jesus eventually comes in Matthew.
As Malachi had prophesied.
Exactly. And he returns, the hearts of fathers to their children and their children to blah, blah. But today, the current guy is dealing with this same situation. How do I be a man when the girls I'll see around have it all together? Because we need to go back to the identity of a man.
Right.
Can I still go on?
Just go on. I mean, we can take 2 hours. It's fine.
Okay. So how do I be a man? Because the identity of a man is, if Jesus wanted to come and fix the world by fixing the man, we must go and understand what is the man in his original state.
There we go.
Because in his original state, he is the ultimate caregiver and steward to the world. And then a woman is introduced into the picture, and he has to, he names everything. He says lion, leopard, and then he sees woman and says, you are woman, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So he is the institution that when broken, the world is broken. That when fixed, the world is fixed. And so Jesus comes to fix that man, because then everything gets to be fixed. But today there is a guy who is wondering, how do I be this when I don't even know who I am? I don't know why I was born. I don't know. Okay, I see the girls. They look great. They're beautiful. They're all curvy and everything. But other than sex, what else? Because they want a car, they have to. They want a house, they already are living well in a house. They work. They have investments in UAP everywhere, and they also have this thing,
businesses.
And so their revenue is good. So how do I be a man? And right there is the big question. Because what Jesus comes to do is to fix and bring this man back to the original state. And I think what that happened for me was in the moment where I discovered that, I had given all my brokenness to my wife and said, can you still consider marrying me? And she said yes. And as I just want to explain the gravity of the leap and how that pushed me even today, what I'm doing today. I knew it. In fact, my proposal involved it. I said to her, part of telling you all this weakness and all this failure in life is to also say, this is where I see myself going. And chances are you're going to be a pastor's wife. Is that still okay? Like I gave her all the scopes to say,